Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal and today we're taking a look at why the Mercy changes in a lot of ways are, what can I say, getting over exaggerated of how quote unquote broken and OP Mercy is, and she's a must pick and you can't play without her, and Blizzard nerf her, no Blizzard to keep her, and they do so much controversial, there's so many YouTubers talking about it. I don't feel a lot of them it's perfectly covering the case. And while to a certain extent I do feel that Mercy is in one of those spots where she's a little bit too strong for her own good, and I think there's a small adjustments that I will mention that I think can get implemented to make her a little bit more balanced. I still think that she is not as good as people want her to. People almost feel that like it's kind of like Lucio, that you almost need her in every team composition except a couple of different ones where she won't be as efficient, or you can do without her. But in general, people talk about her like you must have Mercy or else you're at a huge disadvantage, and the only way to counter an enemy Mercy that can do all those reses is to have your own that can res, and I think that is severely wrong. Now I will agree on the fact that playing against this new Mercy is a little bit frustrating, and it's not as fun as it maybe should be, because if you play Widowmaker or you play really any hero and you outskill someone, right? You Reinhardt, you pin someone, or you Widowmaker and you headshot the enemy Widowmaker in the beginning of the engagement, she just reses that Widowmaker, and now you have to do it all over again. So your skill is not rewarded. The satisfaction of you getting that first kill is not properly rewarded, and I think that's a little bit of an issue, but I don't think it's game breaking. Now I'll actually just start on saying why I don't think that she's broken, why I don't think she's OP. And that's because you get huge disadvantages by picking Mercy compared to what else. So right now there's 3 support that you run as your main support, right? You run either Sen, Ana, or you run Mercy. And then you normally have a Lucio as your backup support if you play like standard meta, and in some teams, in some compensations it's like you run Sen and Ana or something like that. But that's like the general way of thought, right? You either have Mercy, Sen, or Ana as your main healer, and then you have your secondary healer, which is normally the Lucio. By picking Sen, you have insane offensive abilities, right? You have Discord Orb, and he can frag himself, right? His right click can take down a 200 HP hero if he lands fully. His left click is really good, and you have something that is really irritating. You have a saving grace, you have Transcendence, which builds super fast. It's much faster than drop beat, and it's the best saving grace in the game because of that. Because most of the time, if the Sand is not getting nuked in the beginning of the engagement, when they have Dragon Blade, you have Transcendence that will counter the Dragon Blade. You counter Tactical Visor, you counter so much with Transcendence, and you can pop it in the middle of team fights to give you guys a huge advantage, which you don't get by any other hero except Lucio. But Lucio's ults builds really slowly. And when it comes to someone like Ana, you have her Biotic Nades, which is really good for both offensive defensive stuff. You can heal the Night enemy team, which is insane. It has the huge value, and it's one of the big carry moments if you land a good huge nade on the enemy team, which actually also counters Transcendence. You have Sleep Darts, which can lead to a pick, which can shut down an ultimate, which in general is an amazing and very strong CC ability, and you have the best healing in the game. You can solo heal with Ana. She's the best healer, at least in my opinion, to solo heal with. She is amazing. If you're good with Ana, you can, as good as carry, you can even counter and shoot down Pharahs, and you don't get that. If you pick Mercy, you don't get any of those. What you get is you get pretty decent healing, especially focused healing, right? But even though, and you have to move around a little bit, your team composition theoretically gets less diveable, meaning that if you have Ana or Sen, let's just say that you have a soldier as well, those two, so the Ana or the Sen and the soldier, is very easy dive targets. Those are very high priority dive targets, and they normally get dived, and it's very easy. Mercy is not as easy to dive because she can fly away. You can still dive her, that's not the problem, right? You can still kill Mercy pretty fast, but she is harder to get because of the way that she can fly away with Guardian Angel. And the thing that you get that is the reason that people pick Mercy, of course, is res. It has always been like that, and I think that it's better that she has the res that she has now than she has her ultimate. Because her old ultimate, you know, where you can just like super res everyone, even though no matter how many ultimates the enemy team burns, as long as you don't kill the Mercy, it's the same aggression. I think there's a lot more skill and a lot more active in playing the Mercy now. You need to be way more active because you need to get closer to the res. I think that's a good thing, but I don't think that it's as must. What you need to do is that, let's say that you get that early pick. in the beginning. That's what most people are complaining about. The first pick advantage is reduced now, right? So you headshot your Widowmaker on King's Row, you headshot the enemy shoulder, he could rest. That would normally have been a 5v6 advantage, which is a huge advantage, and now it's no longer that. However, what you did do, which a lot of people actually don't mention, is that you used the res. They have 30 seconds now, half a minute. That's a lot of time in a team fight before they can res again. And in that team fight, let's say that you run Ana Lucia, right? In the team fight that now is coming up, you got that first pick, they rest the guy. You have the advantage because you have an Ana instead of the Mercy, so you have Biotic Nade, you can build nanofuse really fast, so you can do that into a chainable ult. You have sleep darts, and you have way higher healing, and also, you know, Ana have good DPS capabilities if she is really good at her job and if it's a proper good Ana. So you have those, and the enemy team won't have that because they have Mercy, so they have healing and they have, you know, some damage boost here and there. That's one of the biggest thing. Getting those early picks is good for you, even though they are not as strong as they would have been if they didn't have the Mercy, of course. Now, what it's all about is that this kind of forces team also to play more aggressive. If the enemy team has a Mercy, let's say that you get the first pick and then they res or whatever, you just need to be aggressive. And that's what a lot of people do wrong in this game. They play so passive. Everyone is so scared of engaging. Like, they stand long times in the choke waiting for a pick or something. What you need to do, like, stepping up the aggression is what this is forcing players to do. Because you need to get more kills. Sure, she can res one guy. That's okay. A lot of time you can actually get the Mercy after she res because she has to go so close. So if you have someone like a McCree, it's really good for this. When she flies in, doesn't want to do the rest, because she has to be so close, you can actually flash and headshot the Mercy and get a kill on her. That's one of the, you know, the small pros of that. But even if you don't manage to kill the Mercy during the res, you got a pick, and that snowballed your engagement. If you get the pick and then just stand there and wait for her to res and let her res, then that's a different scenario, right? Then you're fucking it up. But if you get the kill and then you continue that fight effect, a lot of time the guy that get res, they will be in this situation surrounded by your team, so you can actually turn on the guy and kill him one more time. A little bit irritating, but it can be done, especially if it's not one of those high duration tanks like a Roadhog or something. And besides that, it's just you get the kill and you move forward. You move forward and you kill one guy more, because there is a disadvantage. If it's a tank, they don't have that tank. If it's a DPS, they don't have the DPS output. If it's a support, they don't have healing for a couple of seconds before the rest goes off. And that's a huge advantage that you just need to capitalize on. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about, is you just need to capitalize on the pick that you got and play aggressive on it. Use that advantage that you have. Sure, he will get rest, but when he finally is rest, he come back, he's full HP and all that shit, which is, you know, really good for the enemy team compared to just him being dead. The problem is still that you have already capitalized on this. You have already dealt damage. Maybe you have a kill, maybe you don't, but you're getting close to it. The enemy team has been forced to use a lot of their abilities to actually survive this next engagement, or the engagement that you just did on them. You're pressuring them, they are low, they are weak, and therefore you can capitalize on this if you want to either re-kill the guy or go on and snowball a couple of more kills, depending on who was it got res and how the situation looked. Now, I do believe that Mercy can be nerfed a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. The biggest thing that I think is when you res someone, they shouldn't have their abilities off cooldown, and especially if you kill a baby D.Va, so D.Va without mech, and she get res, she get her mech recall, so she just gets her mech back. That's stupid in my head. I don't think that should be a thing. I think that she should be respawned or revived with her mech on the her mech call on the percentage that it was when she died, and the same with cooldowns. I think that when you die, if you get res, if Swift Strike was on 5-second cooldown when you died, it should still be on 5-second cooldown. You shouldn't have that back. I think that's one of the things that I think is a little bit more the irritating thing. And then I believe that her ult is too powerful. I either would like to see, you know, a couple of these, or at least one of these, like a lower cooldown on her res. It's a 10-second res. I think that's too frequent. I think a 20-second could be fine. That way you could res, then you could ult and get and then you could res again, right? That's 2 reses, and then in the end of this ultimate, you could res one last time. That's triple res in 20 seconds. I think that's a pretty fair thing to do. You could also lower the duration of her ultimate. I think that would be good. Put it down to 10 seconds. And you could still have those two implemented, right? So you can get a new one in 20 seconds as long as you rest in the Valkyrie state. But 10 seconds, I think 20 seconds is too long because it feels like she's flying around for an eternity. And she's really, really hard to shut down in this. Like, Dragon Blades have problems getting to her. So she's hard to get with those. Even Nano Blades are hard to actually get to because how high she can fly on some of these maps. And like in general, you need some really good hit skin like a Widowmaker or a Kree or a Soldier on high ground or something to actually take her down, which I think is a little bit irritating. And one of the things also could be helped is lower the chain heal, either so that the target that you heal, like the chain healing is limited to like 3 players, that's half the team, that's actually a lot. Or so that like the first target that you heal, when you then like chain onto new targets, the healing is lower or decreased. So like from every chain that you're going down, kind of like a binary tree, from every, you have the guy that you are healing mainly, he gets 100%. Then the 2 guys that he chains onto, those gets 50% of that. And then the 2 guys that are chained from those again is getting a certain percent of that. So something like that. I could do something like that so that like it gets halved for every 2 players. Then again, right? To lower the healing output of chain heal, because right now I think that she's a little bit too broken. Or just like reduce the range of her healing when she's in Valkyrie state so that she can't heal from like the other end of the map, which is kind of irritating to watch. And I think that's related, but I don't believe that Mercy is overpowered and don't believe that she's broken. I think that really people, when we get used to playing against her, I think that people will understand it a lot more, as not understand the fact that they need to capitalize on their kills and not just stand back and wait for her to get rest, or have someone, a dedicated guy, to camp the guy that died and stuff like that. I think that's one of the things. So I think this patch is a good thing. I think the fixes are really good, but there are some stuff that can be fixed to it. But I think that also people should really stop really just bitching about how broken she is and how unfair it is and stuff like that. Even though I don't like it, I hate playing against the Mercy like now, but I still feel that people should really stop complaining so much about it and rather look at how to play against it instead of just yelling at Blizzard for it. Besides that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't press a like and dislike if you did, and drop something down to comment. What do you think about the new Mercy? Have you played her? Are you irritating against her? Are you for what I said? Do you have anything that you think could be a good nerf to her? I know there's a lot of people that is talking about the nerf that she has to have a cast time on her res, or that they are res with half HP and stuff like that. Is that something that you guys think is viable? Do you guys think that? If you so, then drop that down in the comments. You can also join the Discord server. Talk to me, talk to everyone. You can discuss these topics there. And also follow me on Twitter. That's always nice to keep up to what's going on with the channel when I live stream and everything. I also announce a lot of that on the Discord server. Besides that, guys, my name is Jonal, and as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.